how do you think the current economic environment or environment of uncertainty might factor into the conference, and how can we use that to be a source of opportunity and innovation versus what is sometimes the case? It's a source of fear and retreat.
Yeah. So I remember back in both 2008 and 2012 that while I was in the IT services kind of field still, we prepared, right? It's almost like a cold winter. You start to all of a sudden start pulling back and you start pulling back. And what happened both times was we ended up getting overran with requests. We had procurement going up. We had clients wanting to sign up for services because our end clients were now starting to do the exact same thing. What can I start to outsource? What can I start to, reduce my own operating expenditures? And, from a services perspective, I think there is that level to how do I financially build out my budgets and my own operations to where if I do have that opportunity where I can start marketing to my end clients of, hey, come do your IT services through us, that I can now start to hire efficiently and recruit efficiently so I can maintain my margins as a service provider. Because the last thing you want to do is have 5 clients in line getting ready to go and you're afraid to hire or you can't hire because you didn't model it out correctly.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll use COVID as an example. COVID made a lot of our partners look in-house because and make sure that their processes, their procedures, they're running as lean and as efficient as possible. And it made them focus on them and not the outside noise. And you couldn't just throw bodies at a problem. You really had to make sure that all of the hard stuff was running as smooth as possible.
We see our partners becoming more business coaches, right? So we're helping solve business outcomes with the responsible use of technology, right? Or the creative use of technology. So in a down economy, technology is used to make things more efficient, more effective, right? So if you can become that business consultant to help your end user become more productive, to not need an FTE, right? To consolidate tools, et cetera, that drives more business for you and improves your customer's business. So one of our partners said that for a prospect, he pulled all of their contracts and found, and Ray, you'll appreciate this one, in COVID, they had multiple locations and each location had gone out and gotten their own VoIP provider. They had 17 different VoIP contracts. So the MSP was able to save them $3,000 a month by reducing that contract. And Ray, you will be happy with this because he is one of yours. And they put him on VoIP, right? So they put him on OIT. And so he was able to do that business consulting. Again, saved him $3,000 a month in MRR because he was able to consolidate contracts. So, Will has talked about putting processes in place and streamlining. When you take a look at all of those pieces, and you streamline, you're saving them money, you're making them money in some cases. I think that's in a down economy, how you take that inward look and then also give the same look to your clients because that's what they need from you as a business consultant.
And speaking of FUD, that's exactly, this is absolutely no different. When COVID happened, we all knew we had to do more with less and downward economy and people getting scared. I look at those economies as opportunities for immense growth, right? During COVID, that first year of 2020, we did our 2020 numbers by July. 2021 was no different. We did it halfway through the year. Teaching MSPs how they can leverage these things, and instead of getting scared, saying, okay, where can I find the opportunities, right? If you look at, and this is what I'm talking about bringing from other industries, right? You look at Carnegie, you look at Rockefeller, Henry Ford, they took down markets and made fortunes out of it. Because they did the right things, they focused on the right things, the automation, the assembly line, they focused on operational efficiencies. And MSPs are the best positioned groups to do this. They can leverage these tools better than anybody else on the planet. They just need to focus on the right things. And then they'll find those thousands of dollars Marnie's talking about. And that's, if we can get them past the FUD of, oh my goodness, the market's going to fall and I'm going to lose customers, you can get so many better customers during this. Because the customers are doing the same thing. They're trying to find meaningful spend of their dollars because they're looking to save and hoard cash and the whole thing. So if you can come in and say, I can solve those challenges, no different than in an up market. How do I solve those challenges? You can be the victor there. You could be the champion and you'll come out ahead.
Well, to follow up on
It's
that too,
fun.
like,
Oh, sorry.
sorry. I was going to say that the tech space, if you're in the tech space, you're in a golden spot, regardless of the economy, because it is now a critical component of any business across the board. So, even if it's down, like this is your opportunity to really shine. You can weed out your competition, to everyone's point here.
Yeah, and I think Marty and Ray, you're both onto the right thing here. Going back to the previous question, right, is we're talking about the relationships with the end clients. How do I add value to their own businesses? And one of the clients I coach actively, he talks to his clients. I don't remember how his terminology for it, but it's something about click rate efficiency. It kind of goes back to those old Xerox days of office automation, to where how can his MSP provide value to bring more efficiencies, which usually is better margins, right? Talking about ROI for his MSP clients. So what's cool about it is now he's talking owner to owner from a sales perspective of, hey, I'm going to bring you more profitability by utilizing our services because I'm going to make it so that every time your employee clicks the mouse, that they're spending less money.